Come on, Nate.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Bayou Sports TV. I am Nada Nay. So, and these are, y'all can introduce yourselves.
Okay, go first, Raymond.
All right, my name Raymond, the youngest out the bunch, just here to give my perspective about the topics we're gonna talk about today. So just eager to get into it and hopefully I enjoy.
All
All
right,
right.
it's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDPC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Y'all sit back, relax. Hopefully, y'all enjoy this episode of Bayou Sports Talk. We're going to get into some very interesting topics on this particular episode. Also, I want y'all to go check out my brother channel, Jared O11 Green. Check out Swag Sports Talk. And let's get it for this episode of Bayou Sports Talk. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. And shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us since day one. We appreciate y'all to the fullest.
All right, so the first topic for today will be the mega fight between Errol Spencer Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford for the undisputed welterweight title.
No, Nate,
So,
no, Nate, no, Nate, you on the wrong one.
really? Oh, okay, okay. Let me see. I'm scrolling down. Why is it July? All right. So basically, okay. So basically, the first topic for today. My bad. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, I will be doing. It will be basically on basically last night in the Miami versus the Denver Nuggets. So and of course they beat Miami, and the score was 108-95. To take the lead 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Basically, what are your thoughts on it, Raymond? You could start us off.
All right, so basically my thoughts on the game and the NBA Finals so far as a whole is it's going exactly as I predicted it. I predicted the Nuggets to win the series 4-1. And I had one of my friends tell me the only reason the Nuggets allowed the Heat to win one game was so they could go back to Denver and win the championship in Denver. But we all know that the Nuggets is a far better team than the Heat. And they've been showing that this entire series. The game last night at times it got close. One thing I do like about the Heats, they are like a feisty fight back team. So they'll go down by like double digits or whatever, but they'll always come fight back, which they did last night. But eventually the Nuggets went on a run and just continued to blow them out. So I expect the next game to go the exact same way. So.
All right, Coach. What are your thoughts on the
Okay,
versus the Denver Nuggets?
okay. Just like Rama said, pretty much the way I predicted is the way it's going. I predicted Denver to win in either 5 or 6 games. It looks as if it's probably going to be five more so than six. Denver has a far better team. And in terms of what Raymond said about his friends saying that they let him win that one game in Miami, I'm sorry, in Denver, so they can win the championship in Denver, I disagree. I think it's just basic human nature. The Denver Nuggets have a far better team than the Miami Heat. They're a much better team. And as a result, uh, as a result, it was just basic human nature kicking in, and they just let Miami get one. And They, you know, they shook back last night. The last couple games, they really beat them. And I know Miami. They have a tendency to go to this 1-2-2 zone or this 3-2 zone. They pick Denver up full court, and then they drop back into their 3-2 to kind of keep Denver out of their two-man game with the Joker and with Jamal Murray. But it seems as if basically Denver they kind of figured that out. And they're running some good zone offense. They're trying to get the Joker in the high post, which the zone player I run as a basketball coach it's called Miami. The irony of the situation, but they try to get the ball to the Joker in the high post, and Miami try to deny him in the high post whenever they go to their zone offense. But basically, Denver has too many matchups in their favor. They're a better team. They've been having guys coming off the bench like last night. Bruce Brown, man, he had an incredible game. He had 21 points. They just have a deep team, and last night was our first Reggie Jackson sighting. So Reggie Jackson only played one time in this entire series. They got guys on the end of the bench, veteran guys like Ish Smith and DeAndre Jordan. So that just go to show you how good a team they are, how deep they are. I anticipate Monday night that they pretty much gonna put an end to the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. But like Rama said, the Miami Heat are a feisty team. They're aggressive. They're not going to just lay down and just fold the way the 76ers did against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs in the East. So I expect Miami to fight, but I think Denver going to finish them off. And shout out to Kay. We know she couldn't be on this particular episode. She's getting some much-needed rest. So shout out to her. She's going to be back next week. We dedicating this show to Kay on this particular episode. So shout out to Kay.
Okay. Do y'all have any other thoughts on the NBA Finals?
None for me. What about you, Rambo?
None for me as well.
All right, need to go to the next topic.
Okay. So the next topic is going to be on basically it's going to be several weeks ago. The Memphis Grizzlies started their point guard John Morant, and he had another
star point guard John Morant.
Yes. And he had another injury, in which
incident.
Excuse me, y'all. In which he was flashing a gun, and of course it was all over social media. And now Josh Kemp is claiming it was a toy gun. So basically, what are y'all thoughts? How do y'all feel?
It's stupid. That's all I gotta say.
Say it again.
It's stupid. They ain't no toy gun. That's all I gotta say about that. Everybody in their mama know they ain't no like you a grown man. Like what are you doing with a toy gun? That's just stupid. Like I'm gonna just say this. I was listening to I forgot the name of this show with Nick White, but pretty much he was saying you putting yourself at more risk by having a toy gun than actually having a real gun. Because somebody see you with a gun, they figure like, oh, they could act aggressive towards you. But if you got a toy gun, you can't even defend yourself compared to if it was a real gun. But I'm just saying, that was just stupid. He should have just kept that to himself.
All right, folks. What are your thoughts?
I think it's Cap, like Raymond said. It's big Cap. Clearly, he has had a track record of having these stupid incidents and doing these stupid things. And as a result, it's just basic damage control. So as a result of this damage control, basically, his camp to come out and say it's a toy gun. They know he stands to lose $231 million. That's just the NBA money. That's not including all the endorsement that he has, his contract with Nike. They see all of this going down the drain, and as a result, it's damage control. So basically, his camp is saying it was a toy gun because they already know he getting ready to lose a bag. He finna blow the bag. So as a result, they're trying to do as much as they could to pretty much mitigate their loss. and trying to keep the losses to a minimum. But it's a strong possibility that he's going to be suspended for the entire NBA season, this upcoming season. So basically, he just needs to just chill and just say less and do less. So that's all I have for this particular topic. It's just stupid. It's cap. I mean, he just needs to stop doing stupid stuff. Point blank, period.
I agree. So, do y'all have any other? Basically, do y'all have any other things to say about Ja Morant or no?
No, not so much on this topic. You can just transition to your next topic, Nate.
Okay. So now, which has been all over social media, the star player who is Zion Williamson of our local team, the New Orleans Pelicans. He recently just had a gender reveal and had announced along with his girlfriend that he was expecting a baby, which was a baby girl. So, what are y'all thoughts, Coach? You can start this time.
Well, to me, it's a very interesting saga when it comes to Zion Williamson. First and foremost, people don't realize that the young lady that he's expecting his baby girl with, she's a dancer, and I'm not talking about a ballet dancer. In addition to that, she's an IG model. And then to make matters even worse, he dumped a corn star. Her name is Mariah Williams. He dumped her to go with his current girlfriend and his baby mama that's expecting his little one. So the corn star, Mariah Mills, she felt slighted that, he left her for the other girl, and the other girl's pregnant and is having a baby for him. And as a result, she's putting out like private text messages between him and her. Supposedly, allegedly, he promised to buy her a Bentley. He promised to do all of these lavish, luxurious things for her. I mean, the whole situation is silly. It's turned out to be an entire fiasco. It's not a good look for him. And I mean, I don't understand the fascination with him and all of these adult entertainers. It's like, dude, you worth $231 million. Like, why can't you just get just a regular baddie? But instead of just getting a regular baddie, he's getting adult entertainers, and they exposing all of his personal business. And, we're going to talk about another NBA player a little bit later on in this show. But Damian Lillard, we're going to talk about him later on. But he talked about when he first came into the league that basically there are a lot of veteran players on these teams, and they took the younger players under their wing. And basically they kind of guided these younger players both on and off the court. And it seems as if, Zion Williamson and Ja Morant, because recently one of my friends asked me, he was like, in the situation, would you prefer to have Zion or Ja Morant? And to me, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. One is doing stupid things and one is doing idiotic things. So in terms of this situation, I mean, I know he, his mom is married. He has a stepdad. But it's clear that in his life, he doesn't have a strong, masculine man. Like Ramsey and I, we had a senior that kind of pushed us in the right direction. And it seems as if he doesn't have that guidance because he's making a lot of stupid choices and decisions. And, there are rumors now that the Pelicans are interested in trading him because all this negative publicity that he's bringing to the team and the organization, you messing with all these adult entertainers and now you expecting a baby with the IG model / dancer. It's not a good look. The situation is bad all the way around. But more than anything, it's clear and apparent that whether it's his biological dad or his stepdad or any veteran players on his team, he has no one guiding him in the right direction because, man, this is the epitome of stupidity, and it's no wonder why the Pelicans won't trade him because when he was healthy, he could have actually helped them make it into the playoffs, doing the play-in. He didn't want to play in the play-in games, but yet he doing 360 windmills and warm-ups, and he don't want to play in the games, basically saying, hey, I'm not going to come back to I feel like Zion. I don't feel like Zion yet, but yet You messing with all of these adult entertainers. This whole situation is a fiasco. It's to the point I'm done with this dude. If the Pelicans gave him another year for him to show improvement, for him to actually get his weight down, and for him to get on the court and stay healthy, I'll be cool with it. But if they just decided they just want to cut ties and part ways with him, yeah, I'll be 100% for it, because this dude, he's not interested in being an NBA player. He's not interested in being one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Basically, at this point, he just want, be a celebrity, mess with adult entertainers. And the entire situation is stupid. It's like, it's a bad look. So more than anything, he just needs to leave these women alone, and he needs to focus on the court. And even if he did have a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, he just need to focus on the game. And salute to my brother Jay Good. You go, Raymond, because this dude is idiotic.
Well, we see why he had all those leg injuries. Man, I was saying that joke made me lose my other thought. But yeah, I didn't know the Pelicans wanted to trade him.
Well, so recently,
recently.
I mean, I'm talking about like the last day or so. In fact, another one of our LDBC brothers, Ticket TV, he was kind of like the first one to break this. So, shout out to Ticket TV. Ticket TV was the one that really, brought these reports to light. I believe it because, Ticket is accurate with a lot of his information. So it seems as if they upset with the fact that he's doing stupid things behind the scenes. So that's all it is. It really is.
I'll be upset too, because he said he won't feel like Zion. What's gonna make you feel like Zion's getting with all these girls? Because obviously, when he said that threw me in for a loop, because you heard so many different stories. You heard one source saying that Zion was still hurt. One source saying that Zion is fully healthy. And it's like, what's going on? Then Zion pretty much said out of his own mouth that he was pretty much healthy. He just didn't feel like himself. I'm thinking, maybe this guy's going through depression or something like that. So a lot of people gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it's like, bruh, this looks like a bad rap and just a bad coincidence, which I don't think it's coincidence for all this time that went by. I don't know. It is just, and I know someone like Stephen A. Smith, because I was watching him talk about it. He was like, that's people's personal business, but to a degree, it's like, yeah, that's his personal business, but dog, they put it out there, bro. It's like it's for us to see now, so you put it out there so we could speak on it. And my thing is, maybe him becoming a father will motivate him to play harder and actually play. That's the only thing I'm trying to find some kind of light in it, because I'm trying to figure out, because my thing is, I feel like we could actually still make a run without Zion. I feel like the reason why this team lost to OKC was because it's like for some reason Zion just got some type of emotional control over this team. That's like when it's close to him coming back, they start playing good. Then they find out he's not coming back and they start playing bad. But man, the Zion situation is just, I don't know, man. I feel like it's cool. You mess who you like, what you like. Maybe he just like those type of
adult entertainers,
women that are very experienced, I guess I would say. I guess he likes that type. And hey, man, nothing against you, Zion, but when you not doing your job, that's when it becomes. Look, so I'm gonna ask a question. If Zion made the All-Star team, well, he did make the All-Star team. If you would have played in the All-Star game and like just say would have made it to the semifinals or whatever in the playoffs, and this news would have came out, do you think it would look as bad if Zion would have been?
No, I mean that's the thing about it. I mean the fact that he's fat, he's unmotivated, he's lazy. I mean the thing about it, he has all the potential to be one of the top 5 players in the NBA. I mean, hands down. But the fact that he's often hurt, he's often injured, and he doesn't seem to be motivated to want to do the right thing in terms of getting on the court. So I could see from an organizational standpoint, I think the only thing that would prevent them from trading him is the fact that they really couldn't get an equal value deal or anything close to it. But I think from an organizational standpoint, like I said earlier with the whole Dame Lillard situation, is the fact that even though you got CJ McCollum and you got Jonas, it seems as if, since he came to the Pelicans, they pretty much gave him the keys to the franchise. And, he's pretty much doing whatever. And it seems as if, whether his stepdad or whether it's people in his camp or whether his veteran teammates, nobody can really get through to him. He's just kind of doing his own thing. And from an organizational standpoint, even though that's his personal business, the fact that he's more synonymous for messing with adult entertainers as opposed to his play on the court, it gives the organization a black eye. And, from an optics perspective, that's the reason why they probably are entertaining trading him. And the fact that it seems as if his focus is these adult entertainers as opposed to, his play on the court. Like I said in one of the episodes when I went off and be like, hey, he a fat lazy, you know what? Basically, if he ever got in his mind, if he got down to 250 and he stayed healthy and he was on the court, like you say, Rambo, we wouldn't be having a discussion. I mean, he would be one of the top players in the NBA. And I'm gonna be truthful. From a matchup standpoint, the Pelicans are one of the teams that really could match up with the Denver Nuggets. Put the fact that the Nuggets getting ready to win his NBA championship. If the Nuggets win a championship, I mean, because that's one thing I don't like with the modern NBA is the fact that over the years teams had to gradually, progressively, get to the point where they win a championship. They didn't just form a super team and win one. You had to actually go through your growing pains. So if Denver actually wins this championship, it's another level. I mean, in addition to him staying healthy and being focused on basketball, now you have another hurdle to overcome, if you're going to actually be a team that really going to get to that point. But it's to the point now where if he's not going to be 100%, I hate to say it, I know you and Rude Dog believe that they can win the championship without him, but I disagree. I mean, he's the best player on their team. He's their franchise player. But if he's not going to be healthy and his focus isn't basketball, you might as well trade him anyway and see what you get for him. Get as much as you can get for him.
I would say trade. I'm trying to think of another superstar who could trade for him, or like someone.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about it. Teams, his trade value is low because of the fact that even though he's immensely talented, he's often injured. I mean, he's averaging like 28 games, 27 games per season. Yeah. And the team is not going to give up a boatload of assets to get this guy because he's hurt all the time.
Right. For that case, you might as well just not even start him and just let him only play in the playoffs. If you want to go play 20
it doesn't work that way. I mean,
I know. I was just theoretically speaking.
Yeah, all right. From a theoretical standpoint, if you have a player that's perpetually injured, I mean, just say he could play maybe about 20 games without getting hurt, but he's gonna need like probably the month of March, the month of April. The first part of April to get ready for the playoffs. So, because guess what? You can't just start in the playoffs and say, all right, I'm be good. Because if that's the case, guess what? Then, the Miami Heat will bring back Tyler Hero right now if that's the case. Because he was supposed to play. He ain't come back yet. But because you just can't say, all right, I'm going to come back for the playoffs. No, then you have to actually
to come back.
Say that again?
It don't even make sense for Tyler Hero to come back.
But that's my point, though. So you're saying doing the same thing with Zion. I mean, he would need
at least. I'm not saying I'm saying like if all he's just gonna play is 28 games, just playing for the playoffs. I'm not saying that they should really do that. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying from a theoretical standpoint, but the point I'm trying to make is he would need to get in game shape leading up to the playoffs.
Right.
And by the time he actually got in game shape, and then he played maybe in a series, he probably gonna break down and get hurt again.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it's pointless at this point. So, Max, I would say give him one more year to see if he's going to get in shape, get motivated. But if they decide, hey, they just want to cut ties with him right now, I'll be cool with it because, clearly.
If I was the Pelicans, I'll make him go on how boxers go into training camp and they have to cut weight? I would literally make him do that. Like,
the thing about it is, a lot of players talk about heat culture.
Yeah.
But this is what they're talking about in heat culture.
Yeah.
For the Miami Heat, if he played for Pat Riley and
his weight,
I'm gonna be truthful. If you put him on that team win a championship. Because the thing about it, even though Pat Riley is the general manager now. He's no longer the head coach. Man, he would literally run Zion into the ground. Zion would be even if he ate ridiculously,
It
he
would
would
be
run him so much.
right.
Basically, he would run that weight off him. So yeah,
So this true. I remember I was listening. I believe I was listening to an NBA player, a former NBA player, say that before and after every game, Miami Heat's players they would run.
I mean, it's probably the case because people talk about the Showtime Lakers with Magic Johnson, but people don't realize how much Pat Riley made those guys run, and not only that, but many New York Knicks players, because not only did he win the championship with the LA Lakers, but he brought the New York Knicks to the finals in '99. In fact, they were the first 8 seed to make it to the NBA finals. Well, anyway, I mean, basically, they were like, you didn't want to be hurt because they said if you were hurt, he just ran you into the ground when you were injured. Oh, yeah. So players say they try to avoid the training room. So, I mean, even if you were hurt to the point where you couldn't run or whatever, he would just work you out so much doing other stuff, things that you actually could do. You didn't want to be hurt. So, trust me, if he was in Miami, these issues they're having with him in New Orleans, I promise you that he would not have those same issues with them in Miami. And more than anything, it speaks to the organization itself because, Pat Riley is like a godfather in the NBA. So he has a stranglehold on that organization. And even though David Griffin won a championship with the Cavaliers in Cleveland, he doesn't have the same say over Zion. He doesn't have the same say over the organization. So it seems as if he's just kind of doing whatever he wants in New Orleans. But if they send him to Miami, trust me, Pat Riley will get him right. Because I mean, anytime Pat Riley was like, "Hey, LeBron, if you want to leave, I don't care." Pat Riley's that guy. So
that's the thing about Miami. They'll probably tell him you could go with all the exotic dances you want in Miami as long as you stay in shape and run.
But see, the thing about it is though, a lot of NBA teams they go to Miami and they party, they go to South Beach, they drink and whatever. But they say even though the Heat organization is in Miami, they say Heat players don't party in Miami. It's a Pat Riley thing because guess what? Hey, you're gonna stay in shape. You're not gonna drink. You're not gonna go out. You're not gonna party. You're gonna do. Heat players don't play that because Pat Riley has a stranglehold on that organization.
All right.
Nay.
Okay, so the next topic is Chris Paul. Okay, so it's been reported that the Phoenix Suns are planning to trade or waive point guard Chris Paul, and if they can't trade him, fellas, what are y'all thoughts and where do you think is the best landing spot for him? You can go, coach. You can start us off.
All right. Well, in terms of Chris Paul, basically, he at the point in his career, Chris Paul is done. Chris Paul is in the twilight of the very, very twilight of his career. He's done. They were trying to trade him, see if they could trade him, but he's not a tradable asset at this point in his career. He's much older. In his later 30s, he's been in the NBA for umpteen number of years. So he's not a tradable asset. So they're gonna waive him. In terms of the team that's gonna be the best fit, initially we say the Lakers. Well, first of all, if he could come back to on a discount, I think the best situation would be for him to be on the Phoenix Suns team. But more than likely, it seems as if the Phoenix Suns are angling towards Kyrie Irving or James Harden. So if they get Kyrie Irving or James Harden, Chris Paul is a moot point. So I wouldn't say the Lakers at this point because to me, if you put him on the Lakers, Austin Reeves, it would take away from, his best skill sets. So he doesn't fit there. So I think the best landing spots will be two places. First and foremost, it would be the Boston Celtics because even though I know they have Derek White, they have Marcus Smart. To me, I think Marcus Smart is more of a shooting guard than a point guard. And Derek White, I think he's a good like 6-man type guy off the bench. To me, what I would do is I would if you could get him on a real cheap deal, the Celtics, I would bring him in. I would start him at the point spot. I would put Marcus Smart at the 2, Jalen Brown at 3, Jason Tatum at the 4, and Al Horford at the 5. And then I would come off the bench with Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White, and just whatever other players you put in the lineup because
Well, you said Robert Williams?
Huh?
You mentioned Robert Williams in the starting lineup?
No, I say Al Horford.
Yeah. So you wouldn't start Robert Williams?
Robert Williams is not starting now. Robert Williams coming off the bench.
Yeah, I could have swore you would start. They started him some games, huh?
Yeah, some games they have, but at the 5 spot, Al Horford is that veteran guy. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I will come with them 2 Williams boys off the bench, and you got your nice 9-man rotation. But I think that the biggest issue with the Celtics are, from a basketball IQ standpoint, they're extremely low. They play ISO and hero ball too much. They jack up too many crazy threes early in the shot clock. I think having a veteran presence like Chris Paul, he would calm their team down. He would get them in the offense, and he would get them in the actual plays and sets, and it would benefit them. But the way they're playing now, I mean, they're an extremely talented team, but they take too many bad shots early on in the shot clock. And, it's like they're playing hero ball. Jalen Brown at least Jalen Brown is more aggressive in terms of trying to get to the cup, whereas Jason Tatum, he settles for the 3 ball too much. I think putting Chris Paul in that situation, he would get him into offense early, and, he would get him. They would run offense, and they would get in sets. They would run plays. So I think that'll probably be the best fit for him. Outside of that, if the Heat doesn't bring back Kyle Lowry, I think he would be a good fit for them in that spot also. But other than that, I think he's done in terms of him being a viable trade option, tradable asset, or even being a player that could demand a lot of money. I think if he wants to win the championship, he needs to go to a team where he can win the championship and take a dirt cheap deal with the Heat, with the Celtics, that type of team.
Okay. So the next topic is
Wait,
about.
hold on.
Oh, you got to get Raymond. Go, Raymond.
Go. I'm sorry.
So I think Chris Paul going to the Lakers because I look at his relationship with LeBron and I look where his family at. His family been living in LA for the past 4 years, so he has an opportunity to be with his family during the season as well. So I definitely think that he will go to the Lakers. I don't think that him coming to the Lakers will take anything away from Austin Reeves, especially they're not gonna get rid of Austin Reeves, of course, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers, they're gonna gut some of their roster as well. They're gonna get rid of D'Angelo Russell. I'm pretty confident. And so I feel like that's his spot. He's going to the Lakers. I'm 100% sold on that. And don't be surprised if he does. I feel like the Lakers does give him the best opportunity to finally get the ring that he's been chasing and looking for. Is it possible with the Celtics? Yes. But the Celtics, if you ask me, they don't need to make any changes to their starting lineup. Honestly, the Celtics could have been in the finals if they didn't just, I don't know, gas out in game 7. But, they came back down from 3-0, and we've seen what they did in the playoffs. You got Marcus Smart, you got White, you got point guards. I feel like I just don't see CP3 in that starting lineup with them. I guess he'll be a good fit, but I really see him mixing in well with the Lakers. And I feel like he probably is what the Lakers been missing. Someone who can set up shots, like set people up for shots, like LeBron and AD.
I mean, I disagree with you from the standpoint of, you got to realize LeBron is a facilitator, Austin Reeves is a facilitator. And I think Austin Reeves and LeBron, I think it works well because Austin Reeves could take the ball out of LeBron's hand, and he could set up your offense, and he excellent pick and roll situations. He's a good decision maker, bro. Chris Paul going to the Lakers. I mean, if you bring him off the bench, cool. If you get him on a cheap deal, cool. But to me, I think he would hinder Austin Reeves if you put.
Austin Reeves can't take all the shots though. So that's the thing. You got to look at Anthony Davis because everybody be like, "What's wrong with Anthony Davis?"
No.
Pick and roll with Chris Paul and Anthony Davis, that would be just like LeBron and Austin Reeves. I feel like Chris Paul would benefit from AD, and AD would benefit from Chris Paul.
No, I disagree from the standpoint of I mean, there's one thing about shots. Yeah, Austin Reeves gets shot, but I'm not talking from a shot standpoint. I'm talking about if Austin Reeves is a facilitator and Chris Paul is a facilitator, and LeBron is going to facilitate at certain points of the game anyway, dude, you don't need all these facilitators on your team. And we talking about Boston, but you got to realize the reason why Boston lost is because, I say this all the time, Golden State winning the NBA championship was one of the worst things that could happen to the league because a lot of these teams, they just jack up stupid three after stupid three. And they don't, first of all, they don't run offense like Golden State. People don't realize Golden State win these championships. Golden State, just like Denver, Golden State runs excellent offense. It's ball movement, it's player movement. Golden State, when they winning these championships, that's the way I want my team, my basketball team, to run their offense. Boston doesn't run offense. Boston, they ISO heavy. They beat the ball in the ground, and they take a lot of stupid shots early in the shot clock, whether it's Marcus Smart, whether it's Jason Tatum, even Jaylen Brown. I think Tatum and Smart, they rub off on Brown in terms of taking these stupid shots. If you put Chris Paul on that team, you're going to have somebody that's going to facilitate. Really, I think Marcus Smart is more of a shooting guard than a point guard in my estimation. So you got somebody that you can put into your lineup, and he's going to get you in the sets, and you're going to run offense. Whereas if you send him to L.A., then guess what? He going to facilitate their points. LeBron is going to facilitate their points. Austin Reeves is going to facilitate their points. No, you let Austin Reeves keep the ball in his hand, and you let him and AD run high pick and roll. Because guess what? Austin Reeves is a good decision maker in terms of he knows when to get the ball to AD. He knows when to shoot. So,
why that didn't work against the Nuggets though? Because
nobody can stop the Joker. That's why.
But not one game.
Dude, I'm gonna keep it real with you. The Nuggets. So many teams have trouble matching up with the Joker, and the Lakers didn't lose the game from an offensive standpoint. They lost the game because the fact that with Jamal Murray and the Joker in that two-man game they got, dude, ain't nobody stopping that. So that's what it was. And the Lakers tried different things in terms of they tried to put Rui Hachimura on. They figured this out at the end of game one. You put Rui Hachimura on the Joker, and you let AD play free safety and roam on the back end. That wasn't working. You put AD on him. That wasn't working. So it's like, what do you really do? He's a matchup problem. Me personally, from a coach's standpoint, I just let the Joker get his and just try to shut everybody else down. So let Jamal Murray get his, let the Joker get his, and try to corral everybody else. Don't let Aaron Gordon get off. Don't let Michael Porter Jr. get off. Don't let KCP get off. That would be my game plan. Just let the two of them get theirs and just shut everybody else down. But the Joker's to say he's a heck of a facilitator, and him and Jamal Murray, they get the two-man game going. So I don't think the Lakers really lost those games on a offensive end. I think they mostly lost it on a defensive end because they really couldn't match up with the Nuggets. Most teams really gonna struggle to match up with the Nuggets. I'm sorry, bro. So,
but when the Lakers get Chris Paul, they won't struggle that much.
Man, all right.
I'm telling you, you're not gonna agree with it, but I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
All right, look. All right. Let's use your life. Let's go with that. All right, cool. Now, just looking at the finals right now, Vincent, for the most part, if you look at the Heat starting lineup, whether it's Vincent, whether it's Strus, dude, they don't have nobody on their team that can stick Jamal Murray. It's for the exception of Jimmy Butler and maybe Caleb Martin at times, dude, they don't have nobody really to stick Jamal Murray. So now you're gonna put Chris Paul on Jamal Murray. Dude, Jamal Murray is gonna murder Chris Paul.
No, just because Chris Paul play, you think Austin Reeves, you think D'Angelo Russell could stick him?
Well, first of all, I told you this already. I would just let D'Angelo Russell just ride. D'Angelo Russell can't stick nobody. So I would put Austin Reeves at the point. I would put Austin.
D'Angelo Russell was starting. So I'm kind of you would rather Chris Paul starting over D'Angelo Russell.
See, you looking at it from the standpoint where since you no longer have D'Angelo Russell, now you can bring Chris Paul in. It don't work like that from a salary cap standpoint. Like when
Chris
last
Paul
time
more money. I know Chris Paul want more money.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Chris Paul need to understand at this stage in his career, he's probably gonna have to take a mid-level exception or some kind of veterans minimum or something like that because he not gonna get that kind of money on the open market. The only teams that are really gonna be interested in Chris Paul are teams that are gonna be playoff or championship contenders. Those championship contending type teams, they're gonna want him because they feel like he's gonna be the missing piece to get them over the top. So those are the teams that's gonna be interested in him. But the whole notion of, well, hey, since you no longer have D'Angelo Russell, now you get Chris Paul. I disagree. If it was me, because first of all, you gotta look at it. You gonna have some teams that are gonna be willing to overpay Austin Reeves. You have some teams that's gonna be willing to overpay Rui Hachimura. I would just blow the team up. I mean, I would entertain the idea of trading Anthony Davis, but I wouldn't do it because guess what? Because they already said they're now giving the contract extension. So they're now giving the contract extension, but you don't want to trade him because guess what? You're not gonna get equal value for him. As much as he's struggling in Game 6 and Game 7 against the Celtics, you're not gonna get Joel Embiid. The Heat not gonna trade Bam Adebayo for AD. So the pieces that you would get that you would want for AD, you're not gonna get those pieces. So you just might as well keep him and just tell him like, hey, you gotta show your work and you gotta stay healthy, just like Zion. You gotta stay healthy. So I will get a bigger shooting guard that can defend as a 3-and-D type player. I'll put Austin Reeves at the point. You got LeBron at the 3. You got Rui Hachimura at the 4, and then you got AD at the 5, and maybe you could bring somebody like maybe like a Nas Reed in, as part of your mid-level exception. Now, if you say you want to bring in Chris Paul and let him come off the bench the way Kyle Lowry is doing with the Heat, I would agree with that. But if you're talking making him a starter, no. And then you got to realize, at this stage in his career, by the time you get to the playoffs, he's not going to make it. Either he's going to get hurt before you get to the playoffs or he's going to break down during the course of the playoffs. So if anything, you want to limit his minutes if you do bring him in. So if you bring him in, I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't. Now, the reason why I would say I think he would be a good fit for the Celtics is because you have all these guards. You got Malcolm Brogdon. You got Derek White. You don't need him to play big minutes. If anything, he would be a calming, stabilizing force in terms of getting you into your half-court offense and showing these guys, hey, y'all need to run offense instead of jacking up all these stupid shots. And then you got to realize Joe Mazzulla, this is his first year as a head coach. So he really didn't have like that skin in the game from the standpoint of he could command these guys to stop jacking up crazy shots. Now, if that had been somebody like a Phil Jackson, or a veteran coach that's been around, you could get your team to do what you need to do like that. But that was his first year, so that boy just kept jacking up shots. And like Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith said, post game of Game 7, either you allowing these players to doing it or you coaching them to do it. Either way the cut go, you won't get the blame for it. So that would have been me. You going 0 for 12, to start that Game 7 versus the Heat. Nah, bro. Hey, y'all need to settle down. Y'all need to run some offense. And if they had Chris Paul, he would be that guy to stabilize their team, stabilize their offense.
Okay. So basically, the next topic is gonna be about Damon Lillard. So about 4 days ago, the Portland Trailblazers, the point guard, which is Damon Lillard, did an interview
Damian Lillard.
On the Last Stand podcast, and he talked about his future in Portland. So the question is, do y'all think he's ready to leave Portland? Coach, what's your thoughts?
All right. Well, basically, he's pretty much against like the super team idea because that was the whole notion of him. He was always against these super teams, whether it's LeBron and Chris Bosh going to the Heat, whether it's KD joining the Golden State Warriors and Golden State, whether it's Kyrie and KD going to Brooklyn, KD going to the Suns. He against super teams. So it seems as if, people pretty much at this point, they're trying to get him to kind of back off of his stance because, they feel like if he doesn't leave Portland, he's never going to win a championship. I agree with that notion. So it's kind of a fine line from the standpoint of, do you really want to stand on your square and say, hey, I'm gonna try to get out the mud and be with a team, uh, not join one of these super teams, but just try to, stay with my own team and really, try to be a championship contender, or do I join one of these super teams? To me, I feel like this there has to be some middle ground. They asked him, if you decided to leave Portland, like what teams would you join? He said the Miami Heat. He said I think the Utah Jazz, the Lakers, and of course recently the Phoenix Suns. They've been kicking around trade ideas of potentially trade DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix to Portland to get uh, Damian Lillard in the Phoenix. So my take and my perspective on it is, it seems as if he's not completely backed away from uh, joining a super team. So to me, it seems as if he's still against it. But I think he's realizing that the handwriting's on the wall. Like, he's never going to win a championship in Phoenix. I'm sorry, not in Phoenix, in Portland, unless they get him some pieces around him. And if him and CJ McCullough and Nurkic, if they couldn't get it in Portland, he not going to get a championship in Portland. So I think he's realizing that he's going to need to leave and go to another team if he wants to win a championship. But he doesn't want to join a super team. So, I don't know. And the crazy thing about it, I think he would look crazy because at one point, KD was against these super teams. And the fact that he joined the Golden State Warriors, it was like he made a complete 180. And it would be the same thing for Damian Lillard. And in addition to that, if they would want to trade him to Phoenix or to the Lakers or to Miami, he would have to sign off on any trade to any of these teams. And the crazy thing about it, people will be side-eyeing him and looking at him crazy if he joined one of these teams. So me personally, I think he should just realize that, dude, you're not going to win a championship in Portland. I think he should entertain the idea of being traded to another team, but at the same token, you don't want to go against a team you don't want to go to a team that's super stacked like Phoenix, because you being against these super teams, people will take this and throw this in your face. So, basically, I think he should entertain the idea of leaving the Trailblazers, but I think he shouldn't join a super loaded team like maybe a Miami type team, maybe Phoenix. Maybe he could consider going somewhere like the Lakers, because I wouldn't consider the Lakers a super team with Damian Lillard and AD and LeBron. In fact, and no telling, Portland may want AD for Damian Lillard. So either way the cut go, I think as long as his team is not too stacked, I think he should entertain the idea of leaving Portland, because he's never going to win a championship there. Your thoughts, Raymond?
One thing that stuck out to me that you just said, because I ain't know about that interview with Dame Lillard, but one thing you said that kind of stuck out to me that gave me a flashback of Kyrie and LeBron. I feel like Dame Lillard with LeBron would kind of be like Kyrie with LeBron, because like I just remember when Cleveland beat Golden State. I believe it was in 2018. I could have the year wrong. Like Kyrie and LeBron both dropped 40 that like in a lot of times in those series. And I could see Dame and LeBron both doing that, So I could definitely see that happening if they don't if Chris Paul don't go to the Lakers like how I'm thinking, and Chris Paul go to the Celtics, they could possibly trade, because I believe when LeBron made Space Jam 2, they had Dame Lillard in the movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie, Coach.
Oh, I didn't see the movie.
But Dame Lillard was in the movie, and that caused a lot of speculation. Like, could Dame be coming to the Lakers to join LeBron? So I would actually like to see that. Then if you think about it, Portland ain't too far from California, so that would, and he's actually from Oakland. I know LA.
Yeah, he's from Oakland.
LA ain't Oakland, but it's still close enough to me, in my opinion. So I feel like he'll be all for that. Then like you said, it wouldn't be a super team because AD will be in Portland. But where Dame Lillard might go, that one, like with the fact that you said he does not want to be a part of a super team, I have no idea where he could go. I wouldn't mind if the Pelicans traded Zion for Dame Lillard. Dave
Yeah, I
Lillard
mean,
guy,
it,
I wouldn't
I
mind that.
mean, it'll be good to put him and CJ back together.
What
But,
Brandon Ingram?
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But the thing about it though, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Jonas, but you need a big. I hate to say it, kind of like in the van of Zion, that could do a lot of the things that Zion could do. Maybe not from a facilitating standpoint, but from a just athleticism standpoint. If they could get somebody that's kind of maybe not quite Zion, but athletic big that could kind of do a lot of things he could do.
Right.
I think that'll be a good fit for. I mean, get the two of them back together. And I mean, but the only thing about it is, you know, how would Bi fit with that, and how would Jonas fit with that? That'll be the big question, you know. And not only that, but all of the teams that's been reportedly interested in trying to put package deals together, all of these teams are championship contenders. So pretty much anywhere you would send him, to a certain degree, will be some semblance of a super team, whether that's Miami, but definitely Phoenix. Phoenix is a definite super team if you trade DeAndre Ayton for Damian Lillard. But the problem is, you're going at that point you're gonna turn into a donut. I mean, you're gonna have a hole in the middle. I mean, don't get me wrong. DeAndre Ayton is soft, but without DeAndre Ayton, like who you gonna replace DeAndre Ayton with?
Right, like you ain't gonna have nobody clean the glass.
I mean, that's the thing about it. I mean, Jokic, murked him. So if you get just, I mean, unless you go get somebody like a JaVale McGee, and maybe you could go to Taiwan and get Dwight Howard. If you could bring those two guys in, I think that would make it cool. Dude, I promise you. You got to realize when the Lakers won that championship in the bubble, who were their two centers?
Dwight Howard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, AD played some at the five, but they had Dwight Howard and they had JaVale McGee. I think if you get those two guys there and you bring Lillard to Phoenix, that's a super team. But even for the Lakers, I mean, if you make a trade for Dame Lillard, would they be able to keep Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura?
No, that's probably who they're gonna be trading to get Dame Lillard.
No, I think if anything, they'll probably be trading AD to get him.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing about it is, though, I don't know if AD has a no trade clause in his contract. Dude, if AD didn't want to be in New Orleans, he's not going to want to be in Portland.
Oh no, New Orleans is a better, bigger media, market than Portland, and it's more of a tourist attraction than Portland.
I mean, I don't know. Of course, we got family members in Portland, but our moms went to Portland.
You hear more people talking about, I'm going to take a vacation to New Orleans, or I went to New Orleans. You don't really hear that many people like, I'm going to Portland. Like, who's it? Like,
yeah. I mean,
down talk Portland, but New Orleans is more of a tourist attraction.
I mean, I agree.
New Orleans sometimes.
I agree, but like I said, I've never been. I mean, I know they say it was a long flight to Portland, but to me, I know the Lakers trying to get him. One of the teams that were interested in, because supposedly the Lakers interested in Kyrie and Damian Lillard, and then of course the Phoenix Suns interested in Damian Lillard and James Harden and in Kyrie. So it's gonna be interesting how those three, in terms of the musical chairs, it's gonna be interesting how it plays out, between the three of those individuals in terms of where they're gonna land and how it's gonna go, so on and so forth. So I'm interested. Hate to say it, I'm interested to get to the offseason at this point, because I think Denver gonna do away with Miami, and then you get to the draft. How is Victor gonna fit in with the Spurs? Because Spurs got the number one pick. They're gonna take Victor Wembanyama from France.
They're not gonna do nothing off. This is gonna be a rookie season. I'm not expecting him to come in and just make it like that.
Well, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. With that, but more than anything, like those 3 point guards, where they gonna land and who gonna be the front runner when the NBA championship, and more than anything, what the Pelicans gonna do with this knucklehead Zion? How long is Ja Morant gonna be suspended for? So a lot of these things are gonna be interesting to see how it plays out next season.
Yeah.
Nay.
Okay, so the next topic is about Shannon Sharp leaving And so basically, recently it was announced that Shannon Sharp will be leaving FS1, the show Undisputed. What do you guys think about that, Raymond? You can start us off.
Me, I think when Skip Bayless threw that personal jab at Shannon, I think that's what did it. When Skip Bayless told Shannon Sharp that Tom Brady had a better career than him, I think that's what did it because like he took a personal jab at his coworker. But I feel like Club Shay Shay was really the main reason why because his podcast has become very successful, and I feel like he's going to make more revenue off of his podcast. And he was saying it himself. He was doing an interview, and he said like he thanks Skip for giving him an opportunity. But Shannon, like, come to find out, Shannon is a very great, like, interviewer. Like, he's a very great host. Has the personality. A lot of people, like players, call him Uncle Shannon. So he has that like Unc type vibe and Unc type feel. Of course, he knows the X's and O's in football. One of the greatest tight ends to ever play. I would say he's a top 5 tight end. I know you got Tony Gonzalez. Is when we start thinking about the list, he got a lot of people. Definitely top 10, but maybe
No, I would say top 5.
top 5.
Yeah, big time.
But But yeah, so that's why like it's almost like Skip Bayless gave him a chance, and I wouldn't say a diamond in the rough, but we found another person. Like the media has found another person who will be a great host. Because honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I like Skip Bayless. Knew him from First Take with Stephen A. But I really prefer to watch it because of Shannon Sharp rather than Skip Bayless. If you had the Skip Bayless show and the Shannon Sharp show, I would rather watch the Shannon Sharp show. That's how I put it.
All right. Before I go on. Before I start, shout out to Kay. This show is dedicated to her. Shout out to the homie Jay Good. My LDBC brother. Shout out to my other LDBC brother, Jared 11 Green. If y'all have not checked out his show, Southern Baller Show, I'm his co-host. So y'all go subscribe to my brother Jared 11 Green also. Shout out to the LDBC brothers and shout out to K. We'll have a back next week. But in terms of Shannon Sharp leaving Undisputed, I'm not surprised. In fact, on my brother Jared 11 Green's show, we talked about how he's gonna leave. We talked about this a while back when they had the initial Tom Brady incident where basically Skip Bayless insulted Shannon Sharp and he
Yeah,
put him down for
like
Tom Brady.
yeah,
And I'm gonna be truthful. You know, Rude Dog, he not on, we was hoping he joined us a little bit later. But Rude Dog and I used to talk about this all the time. Raymond might be a little bit too young, but we remember Skip Bayless when he was on Cold Pizza. Bro,
yeah, I don't know.
Cold Pizza was trash. I mean, Cold Pizza was nothing until ESPN paired Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith together on First Take. Nobody was checking for Skip Bayless. Nobody cared about Skip Bayless. Nobody thought about Skip Bayless. So once he got on First Take and they paired him and Stephen A. Smith together, that's when Skip Bayless skyrocketed and took off. So Skip Bayless by himself, he's not that guy. And then he left First Take and he came to Undisputed. And he handpicked Shannon Sharp. And of course, the same thing. Without the episodes of Undisputed in which Shannon Sharp isn't on Undisputed, nobody's checking for Skip Bayless by itself. So, several months back, there was this huge scandal on YouTube, and it was this YouTuber by the name of Just Pearly Things. And, of course, she's a white female. She's a grifter. She takes a lot of these red pill space talking points and topics. And basically, once the late, great Kevin Samuels passed, she took a lot of his talking points from his shows and his live stream. And she took a lot of other black YouTubers like Sarah Garvey and King Riches and Aunt Jenny, and she surrounded herself with a bunch of other black YouTubers, and basically she built her platform off of the back of these other YouTubers. And essentially, Skip Bayless has done the same thing. First of all, Skip Bayless, I don't care what people say, or he's not racist, he's this, he's that. Whether he's a racist or not, Skip Bayless is a white supremacist. I don't care what nobody say. And if you look at First Take day in and day out, he kind of shows. I mean, just think about his ideology. On one hand, he thought LeBron James was trash, and on the other hand, he thought Tim Tebow was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Bro, you cannot make that make sense. So how on one hand is LeBron? Whether you think he's the greatest NBA player of all time or not, it's like, bro, he's on a route. In my opinion, he's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest NBA players of all time. So on one hand, you think, oh, he'll never amount to Michael Jordan. And don't get me wrong, I think MJ is greater than LeBron, but that's not my point. My point is, how could you think LeBron James is trash? But yet, on the other hand, you think Tim Tebow is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You cannot make that make sense on no level to me. No. In many instances, of course, we talk about the situation with him putting on Shannon Sharp, for Tom Brady. But in many instances, he's crossed the line. He's made personal attacks on players. He used to call Chris Bosh, Bosh Spice. He used to call Russell Westbrook, Russell Westbrook. He talked Brad about. And the thing about it is, if you're just talking about basketball, cool. But in so many instances, he's gone outside of the lines and made personal attacks on individuals. But yeah, when you got somebody like Jalen Rose, was like, he's talking about, how, you was like Pistol Pete. He was like more like Water Pistol Pete. And he brought up, Skip Bayless stats from when he played high school basketball or whatever. That's out of bounds. That's not fair. It's like, bro, like you're a hypocrite. Like you make personal attacks on people every day that you were on First Take, and every day you are undisputed. You make personal attacks on these players, and when they make personal attacks on you in return, it's out of bounds outside the line. So as far as I'm concerned, he's built his career off the backs of Stephen A. Smith and off the back of Shannon Sharp. And the fact that, just like Raymond said, Club Shay Shay is popping right now. So, once he made that personal attack on him, he saw the handwriting on the wall, and Club Shay Shay popping. So now he used that as his opportunity to go and do his own thing. He's gonna do his own thing. Now supposedly they're gonna replace him with Shady McCoy, former
Oh my man, you about to make me go off about that dude. For one, I want to remind you. Remember Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless?
Yeah, Richard Sherman was another one. Richard Sherman. There's so many instances.
Yeah, Richard Sherman told him, "I'm better than you in life."
For real. I mean, people don't realize. He told me he went to Vanderbilt. Man, Richard Sherman went to Stanford. So Richard Sherman is a very intelligent and knowledgeable guy too. And I mean, we can go down the list. He had an incident with not incident, but he had a situation with Mark Cuban where Mark Cuban went off on him. So a lot of these guys, they had to put him in check and put him in his place over the years. And in every one of these instances, he cried wolf. He played a victim. And I'm like, bro, it's like, for you, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. It's like, bro, come on, man. Be like realistic with yourself.
The thing I want to say about LaShawn McCoy, I don't know, man. Even when he was on I Am Athlete, and he was on some other show, man, I think he made a prediction that Ryan Garcia was gonna beat Gervonta Davis. I'm like, bro, just shut up. Like, I cannot stand his takes because I don't know if he's trolling or if he's being that serious and believing himself. Because sometimes he sounds like a hater, like when he talks and covers other players. Sometimes Shady McCoy sounds very shady.
Bro, you do realize everything you just said about Shady McCoy, you just described Skip Bayless. So maybe he wants somebody that kind of reminds him of himself in terms of, having these hot takes, and that's a troll. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of individuals, because myself, I was one of them. I'm like, bro, like, why you always have these, like, these super hot takes. And to me, I'm like, man, this dude has to be trolling. There's no way he could think LeBron James is this trash. Right. And people that knows him personally, they like, he legitimately feels this way. Like, he legitimately feels that LeBron James is overrated. And I'm like, bro, like, you cannot make that make sense. You can make it make sense. And now it's gotten to a point where, LeBron James is in the twilight of his career, so he kind of moved off LeBron James. He kind of went to Russell Westbrook. And I'm like, dude, Russell Westbrook was the MVP of the NBA. He averaged a triple-double in the season. Like, how could you hate that much on this man? So, to me, it's like he's like a shock jock in terms of, he's a troll. He has to come with this shock value entertainment. It's like he's a troll. So, I think he, they put out a list of names. Supposedly, Shady McCoy is at the top of that list, and that's the individual that he pretty much handpicking, Shannon Sharp's successor. But more than anything, I'm gonna be honest with you, those names they put out,
I ain't watching.
Oh no, because what the other guy name is that's on the other show, with the dude, oh man, the Camacho dude with the box flat top,
Oh, he does the he's usually on Good Morning. He on Good Morning America, huh?
No. I'm not talking about Michael Strahan.
No, not Michael Strahan. He does a little series, Hard Conversations. Or something.
Yeah, well, he on another FS1 show. I think his show usually airs after because your boy that used to be on ESPN, the light skinned one. What his name is? Shucks.
He from Baton Rouge.
No, he's from New Orleans.
But I know who you're talking about because he does he right.
Yeah, he on that show with them. All of them on the same show.
Man,
I can't think he used to play in the NFL. I can't think his name. But anyway, supposedly these guys from FS1, all of them are supposedly on this short list of people that Skip Bayless may potentially want to replace Shannon Sharp.
None of them. I mean, like
none of those guys amount to Shannon Sharp. I'm gonna just be real. And like I said,
he might decline from now.
And that's the thing about it.
He was paired with two of the best, greatest sports analysts, that we could say, Stephen A. Smith and to be Shannon Sharp. So Skip Bayless, he has a name, but no mean he needs to continue, And just a side note, I would love to see Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith debate each other one time. I'm pretty sure that would be
people don't realize that's kind of where, Shannon Sharp, he was on CBS. CBS got rid of him. But, on a few occasions, he would go on First Take. That's where he really got it going. So when Skip, took the $5 million deal, took the big money to go to FS1, $5 million a year, supposedly. That's why he wanted Shannon Sharp because, Shannon Sharp, he debated Skip and he would debate Stephen A. And of course, Stephen A. come out and say that, he would be interested in having him every day on First Take, but in certain instances, he would like to get him on First Take. And Jay Good brought up an excellent point. I mean, T.O., the way the two of them clashed, bro, I think that would be money.
Oh, you talking about T.O. and Shannon?
No, T.O. and Skip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be money.
Never know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the next topic that we're gonna be talking about is about Travis Rudolph case. So this is our final topic. So Wednesday, former NFL wide receiver Mr. Travis Rudolph was acquitted of all charges. He was facing 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. So what are y'all thoughts on this? You can start us off, Coach.
All right. We covered this topic on my brother Jerry 11 Green's channel. All right. And for those individuals that don't know, this been one of like the real hot button issues here on YouTube. And former Florida State wide receiver, former NFL wide receiver, former CFL wide receiver, Travis Rudolph. All right. He was dating this young lady. She was married. Right. She was married and they were at his house. And some kind of way she got access to his phone. And she saw in his text messages that he was dealing with other women. So he was dealing with other women, and basically she got upset. She hit him. She smashed his iPhone. Allegedly, she smashed his PlayStation. She smashed some personal items. She left. She came back to the house. She supposedly hit him in the head with a tequila bottle. And then thereafter, basically she was trying to get him off of her. And in the process of all of this going on, basically what he ended up doing was he ended up telling her, like, just leave, whatever, whatever. I think her brother ended up some kind of way, getting him, getting her to leave his house. And she was so upset that she lied on this man. And she texted her brothers and said that he put hands on her, he slammed her to the ground, whatever the case may be. And she told her brothers to come shoot his ish up. Those were her exact words. Of course, she didn't say ish, she said the actual S word. So she said shoot his ish up. And of course, her brothers, they got a couple other friends, so we got 4 goons. Two of them had weapons in their pocket. And basically they said in the group message, one of her brothers, that, he's a dead man walking. So they show up at Travis Rudolph's crib. Now his brother lives with him there. His mother lives with him there. They showed up to his house. Two of her brothers and their friends or whatever. I think 2 or 3 of her brothers and their friends. So it was 4 of them. 4 men. 2 of them had weapons on. Show up to his house. And, shout out to the brother 7-8. He made a valid point on his Patreon. What he should have did was his brother opened the door. His brother shouldn't have opened the door. He should have called the police in that particular situation. And then once they come to attack you, then they fair game. So his brother opened the door and an incident ensued. Some punches were passed. They it wasn't like a huge fight. And then what Travis Rudolph did was he got his AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle, and he just started letting off. He fired 39 shots. The lady, Miss Jones, one of her brothers, was deleted. Because of YouTube guidelines, we can't say the K word, but one of her brothers was deleted. And of course, they got in a vehicle and they drove off. Supposedly one of them were, holding their weapon out the window, allegedly. So basically, this is a clear-cut case of self-defense. In a lot of these modern women, they extremely emotional. The fact that, supposedly, according to her, she was legally separated from her husband at the time. But she still was a married woman and she was dealing with this man. And she had the nerve and audacity to be upset the fact that he was dealing with other women. And he made it clear that, that was his girlfriend, but they really didn't have a official title in terms of we boyfriend and girlfriend, because he wanted to see how things would play out when things didn't go her way once the honeymoon phase was over. Because, a lot of times when you date somebody, whether you're dating a guy if you're a female, or you dating a girl if you're a male, in many instances, people, they give you their representative. They put their best foot forward. But after a certain amount of time has elapsed, you see that person for who they truly are. So he just kind of wanted to get over this honeymoon phase to see what she really was. And when she realized that he was messing with other women, he basically, like he said, he saw who she really was. And she lied on this man, because she was extremely emotional, no logic, no common sense, extremely emotional. And not only this, like somebody else was saying, like if this is what you wanted done, why would you put it? Why would you document it? If you're gonna do something like that, either you need to talk to that person in person, or you need to call them on the phone. So the fact that she put it in text message, so she told her brother to shoot his ish up, and she deleted the text message. And then in a group message, they say he's a dead man walking. She deleted that message also. So it was a clear incident, a clear case of self-defense. And of course, the fact that she lied and she weaponized her brothers, and she got one of her brothers deleted. And in addition to that, Travis Rudolph was fighting for his life. I'm glad the brother got, he got acquitted, because it would have been such a miscarriage of justice had they found him guilty. And the thing that's the worst part of this whole entire situation is the fact that Her brother was deleted. He was facing life in prison, but she's not being held responsible nor accountable for none of her actions in this entire situation. So more than likely, the guy that got deleted, that was, for some people saying it was one of her brothers. Other people saying is one of her brother's friend. So supposedly, some civil charges. I mean, some civil suits are going to be pressed against her. It doesn't matter because she don't have any money anyway. Because she was living with her mom at the time also. Because supposedly she's a real estate agent, but she's broke. So, nothing is gonna come of this situation. Even if they do press civil charges on her, she loses the civil case. It means nothing anyway. So I'm just glad he got off. This entire situation was stupid. A lot of these women, they're emotional. They don't know how to control their emotions. And, I'm glad he got off, but the worst part of it is she's not being held responsible nor accountable for nothing she did in the entire situation, even though they have clear evidence of her deleting these messages. And so she initiated everything. So, she's not being held responsible, but more than anything, I'm glad this brother off. And hopefully it's a learning lesson for him. Hey, leave these little hood rats and these thoughts and these skills alone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Zion needs to learn stuff from this situation too. On you, Raymond.
If the glove does not fit, you must quit. This is probably the next biggest case dealing with an NFL player besides O.J. Simpson, bro. So, I mean, that's all I got to say is she did instigate. Anybody in their right mind could tell that she instigated it. And she should be held accountable. I mean, you kind of did the right thing. You got a right to defend yourself, and I know that they was trying to pin against him the fact that he ran to the street, because if you watch the footage, it's like he kind of chased them shooting.
Yeah, he left his property.
Yeah, left the property, and it's like some law says like once a person is like retreating, you no longer have the legal right to shoot at them. But
yeah, it's no longer self-defense. You're attacking them at that point.
But it's like, it's kind of crazy because it's like, just say you come in my yard, you try to attack me and I shoot at you. Common sense is going to tell me that you probably going to come back and try and get the job done.
Crimson Cure said the same thing you just said, Raymond.
So it's
she said the exact same thing. And I don't mean to cut you off, but one other thing he said, where they went down the street, supposedly his brother he was defending his brother also. That's one thing he used in his own defense.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't even know that either. His brother was down the street where they was going to. And it's like, it's not like it's not like he went on a whole high-speed chase just to kill these dudes. He literally just ran down the street. Because it's like, all right, I could shoot at you. You could get out my yard. You could go 2 blocks. You could go 2 houses down and still shoot at me. So, of course, I want to make sure you're out like my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to just leave my yard. You could shoot at me from my neighbor yard. So it's like, I want to make sure you're like literally out of any form or way of like shooting me or harming me and stuff like that. And it got some people, the people that survive, just say, what if they want to come back and get some revenge and whatnot? But not to go on a rabbit hole or nothing like that. But I feel like he did the right thing. He did what he had to do. And yeah, it's just sad, how some women, of course, I don't want it to be mistaken. We don't feel all women are like this.
No.
Some women, can get emotional.
A lot of these modern women, though. A lot of them.
And hopefully Zion, I'm not saying the females that Zion messing with are like this, but for any athlete or just any guy in general, man, just be careful what type of women that you are dealing with. I actually was getting food from somewhere. And
big facts, cuz. Big facts.
A guy was venting to me. He was like, man, you really don't know what type of person she is until you either like marry her or been
live
with her. Like, it takes a while for the real version of that person to come out. So it's like, it's just kind of.
Travis Rudolph said the same thing.
Huh?
Travis Rudolph said the same thing. He was going with this woman a year.
And he thought he knew her. And apparently, like.
That's what he said. That's the reason why he didn't want to take it to that next level. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like talking with people, but I'm gonna call a spade. Bro, for the amount of trouble he went through, dude, she does not look. She does not look that good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They've been having so many, because her name is Dominique Jones. They've been having so many like emojis of her in these videos. You know, they've been calling her Winnie the Pooh. You know, things
Oh,
along. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. I mean, I know he might have had a little roster, but bro, somebody your caliber,
he even told her that.
huh?
He said he told her that. He said he told her that she didn't even look that good. And I guess it probably would set her off.
No, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah. Well, in the ensuing argument towards the end of it,
Yeah.
he told her she didn't look that good, but that was after the fact. But he had been dealing with her for like a year, though. You know what I'm saying? So the point of it is, bro, like somebody of his caliber, his magnitude, his status, dude, I'm sure he has access to a much better quality of woman in terms of from a character standpoint and definitely from a look standpoint.
Right.
And she was married, bro. She
That's been 3 red flags, right?
oh yeah, and I mean I'm gonna keep it real. Well, he said he didn't know she was married though. You know, she said she was legally separated, but technically she was still married. And like I said, the crazy thing about this situation is, you know, no woman is worth that amount of trouble that he went through.
No.
But for somebody the way she looks, bro, she's not even worth a fraction of the trouble he went through. Like a small fraction. I'm not even talking about 1/10 of 1% of the trouble he went through dealing with her, bro. So that's why I say, I mean, for everything he went through, bro, no woman is worth it, but definitely not her. It's you know, based on her looks, you know. So and like I said, I don't like speaking ill of people, but we gotta call a spade a spade. She's unattractive, and more than anything, just looking at her on the witness stand, bro, she has a nasty attitude. You know, she's condescending, she's sarcastic. I'm like, bro, this is, and that's why I say, you know, just looking at the case, you know, it was clear that him, his brother, and his mom, they were telling the truth. Whereas, you know, her and her brother and they little friends or whatever, they were lying because, you know, they were trying to jump through like the semantics of these different situations. They weren't answering the questions fully and truthfully. They were leaving out certain details. So I mean, it was obvious who was telling the truth, and like I said, it was only right that he got off. And it's just too bad she's not being held accountable for any of her actions. You know.
All right.
Okay. So do y'all have any last comments or anything of that nature?
Do you have any final thoughts, Raymond?
No, I don't have any final thoughts about any of the subjects that we discussed today.
All right, so tell people where they can find you, Raymond.
All right, so y'all, you know, follow me on Instagram _King Ray with 2 Y's with an underscore follow behind that. So _King Ray _Ray Swank on YouTube. So y'all can find me on YouTube, Instagram, on there. You know, and my closing remarks for the show, just I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation that we discussed today and the subjects we discussed today. You know, shout out to everyone that was in the chat. You know, peace, love, and positivity to everybody out there. Y'all stay blessed.
Nate, tell everyone where they can find you here on YouTube and on your other social media platforms.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Janae Boo 13. And excuse me, you can find me on Instagram at VVS_Nate. And you can find me on YouTube at Nate. Yeah.
All right, hey, y'all go follow Raymond and Ray Swank here on YouTube, and you can follow Nate here on YouTube also at Nate. You know, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us since day one. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You know, this show is dedicated to Kay. She's gonna be back next week. You know, get some rest, feel better. Shout out to the brothers Jay Good and Jerry O'Levin Green. You know, appreciate y'all to the highest, fellas. Also, y'all, you know, check out. I got some new content because, you know, I thought since we entered into the summer months, the school year is over. You know, I was hoping I'll be able to, you know, ramp up my level of content, but I've been extremely busy lately. But I'm getting ready to turn up again. So y'all stay on the lookout for all the Southern University content. And then closing, you know, shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Everybody on this panel, Nate, she a future graduate of Southern University. Myself and Raymond, we both graduates. So shout out to Southern University. Again, shout out once more to the amazing LDBC. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Have a blessed, phenomenal weekend. We'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessings.